Level 1, $30,000 a year, about $15 an hour. You don't think about the number because you want to, you think about it because it follows you everywhere. Into the grocery store, into the gas station, into every unexpected expense that arrives without asking permission. At this level, money isn't something you manage, it's something you react to. Every bill feels urgent, every paycheck already belongs to someone else before it arrives. The apartment isn't terrible, that's what makes it dangerous. It's comfortable enough to stay, comfortable enough to convince yourself that things aren't that bad. The rent gets paid, the lights stay on, the roof doesn't leak, but deep down you know you're living inside a temporary version of your life. The problem is that temporary has a way of becoming permanent when survival takes all your energy. Every purchase becomes a calculation, not because you're cheap, because the math demands it. One item goes into the cart, another goes back on the shelf. You stop buying what you want, you start buying what fits. At $30,000 a year, preferences become luxuries, the budget becomes the decision maker. Most nights end the same way: one more search, one more application, one more attempt to find a door that leads somewhere else. Every listing seems to require experience you don't have. Every opportunity feels just far enough away to remain out of reach. The trap isn't laziness, the trap is the loop. Work, pay bills, recover, repeat. The first rule: at $30,000 a year, you don't manage money, money manages you. It decides where you live, what you eat, what you postpone, and how much of your future gets sacrificed to survive the present. Level 2, $50,000 a year. This is where life starts to feel stable. Not rich, not comfortable, stable. The constant panic begins to fade. The bills still matter, but they no longer feel like emergencies. For the first time, you start thinking beyond next week. You move into a better place. Maybe your first real apartment, maybe your first space that feels completely yours. The silence sounds different here, the walls feel different. For the first time in years, your environment reflects possibility instead of limitation. Something changes at $50,000. You stop asking how to survive. You start asking what's next. That question becomes dangerous, because once you can see the next level, staying where you are becomes much harder. The second rule: $50,000 is where survival ends and ambition begins. Level 3, $75,000 a year. Money becomes quieter. You don't think about it every hour anymore. You wake up and your first thought isn't your bank account. That alone feels like wealth compared to where you started. The biggest upgrade isn't the apartment. It isn't the furniture. It isn't even the paycheck. It's the feeling that your life belongs to you again. The constant negotiation between wants and necessities begins to disappear. The third rule: $75,000 is where money gets quiet enough for you to finally hear yourself think. Level 4, $100,000 a year. The number everyone chases. 6 figures. The milestone. The goal. The finish line people spend years imagining. Then you arrive and discover it isn't a finish line at all. The strange thing about 6 figures is that nothing changes as dramatically as you expected. The apartment improves. The vacations improve. The options improve. But happiness doesn't suddenly appear because a number gained another digit. The fourth rule: $100,000 is a door, not a destination. Level 5, $150,000 a year. This is where life changes visibly, not dramatically, visibly. The apartment is nicer, the car is newer, the vacations become real vacations instead of short escapes. But the biggest change isn't what you own, it's what you stop worrying about. Emergencies still happen, they just don't feel like disasters anymore. For the first time, money starts feeling less like a resource and more like a tool. You can replace a broken appliance without panic. You can take time off without calculating every consequence. The fear isn't completely gone, but it's no longer in control. The fifth rule: $150,000 is where money starts buying freedom instead of survival. Level 6, $250,000 a year. The money is significant now, but the real change isn't financial, it's social. Your conversations begin to change, your environment begins to change. Without realizing it, your circle starts looking different than it did 5 years ago. You still remember where you started, but remembering and understanding aren't the same thing. The problems that once consumed your attention feel distant now, and that distance creates something unexpected: separation. The sixth rule: the higher the income, the harder it becomes to remember exactly what financial pressure used to feel like. Level 7, $500,000 a year. Money becomes almost invisible. You stop checking prices, you stop checking balances. Decisions aren't measured in dollars anymore, they're measured in hours. What saves time? What costs time? What creates more time? The vocabulary changes. Investments, tax strategies, equity, capital gains, entire categories of decisions enter your life that didn't exist before. The problems are different now, not easier, different. The strange thing about wealth isn't luxury, it's isolation, not loneliness, isolation. Fewer people understand your problems, fewer people share your perspective. The room gets quieter as the numbers get larger. The seventh rule: at $500,000 a year, time becomes more valuable than money. Level 8, $1 million a year. The number itself stops mattering. Nobody talks about it, nobody celebrates it. The people around you have seen bigger numbers. The conversations move beyond income and toward influence, beyond earning and toward ownership. You no longer trade hours for money, you trade decisions for outcomes. Capital begins working while you sleep. The most powerful thing about this level isn't consumption, it's reach. One conversation can create opportunities, one investment can change outcomes, one decision can affect hundreds of people you've never met. Money no longer measures comfort, it measures impact. Somewhere inside you, the memory still exists: the parking lot, the old apartment, the declining card, the midnight job applications. But those memories feel different now, familiar, yet distant, like a country you once lived in but can never fully return to. The eighth rule: at $1 million a year, money stops measuring your worth, it starts measuring your reach. Level 9, $5 million a year. At this level, the conversation changes completely. The focus shifts away from earning and toward legacy. The question is no longer how much money can be made, the question becomes what remains after you're gone. Buildings outlast paychecks, businesses outlast salaries, systems outlast careers. The wealthiest people eventually discover the same truth: money matters less than what money makes possible. Then something unexpected happens. You realize every level was chasing the same thing: not money, not status, not numbers on a screen, freedom. Every salary level simply offered a different version of freedom. Some bought survival, some bought comfort, some bought choices, some bought influence. Somewhere right now, someone is earning $30,000 a year, sitting in a car between shifts, looking at a bank account they wish looked different, wondering if life will ever change. They think they're behind, they think the number defines them. It doesn't. The salary matters, but not as much as people think, because every paycheck eventually becomes normal, every milestone eventually becomes ordinary, every level eventually becomes the starting point for the next climb. The paycheck arrives every 2 weeks, it takes whoever shows up. The question was never how much money you make, the question is who you're becoming while you make it, because one day you'll look back at the numbers that once consumed your thoughts and realize they were never the story you were. The salary was only the ladder, the person climbing it was always the point.